I hereby call the special meeting of the Brockton City Council for June 18th, 2020, 7 p.m. to order. Please join me in saluting our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
To the republic for which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty and justice
for all.
Good evening, councilors. Before we begin, I'm going to read the governor's order regarding open meeting laws. Out of respect for public health and in response to the governor's declared state of emergency, this meeting will be closed to the public, and interested parties can instead access the deliberations via a live stream, www.youtube.com/user/TheBrocktonChannels/live. This meeting is being held in accordance with Governor Charlie Baker's signed open meeting law order dated March 12th, 2020, which relieves the public body from the requirements of Section 20 of Chapter 30A, that it conduct its meetings in a public place that is open and physically accessible to the public, provided that the public body makes provision to ensure public access to the deliberations of the public body for interested members of the public through adequate alternative means. So good evening again, counselors. This evening, we have Robin with us. She's our clerk, so she will be doing the reading the part of the clerk and reading the roll for attendance as well as voting. Good evening. We also have our CFO, Troy Clarkson, on with us for the last item on the agenda, if anybody has any questions. So with that said, Madam Clerk, can you read the roll call for attendance, please?
Azak,
Present.
Cardozo,
Present.
Cruz,
Present.
Inieri,
He is on, but he's muted, so
okay, Farwell,
Present.
Lally, Mendez,
Present.
Monahan,
Present.
Nicastro, Rodriguez, Thompson,
Present.
Inieri,
he seems to, he's on. He unmuted and then muted again. I think, Counselor Yaneri, there he goes.
Am I on?
Yes,
Thank you. Yes.
he's present. Did you hear him, Robin?
yes, so that's 8 members present.
Perfect, yes. As soon as you're ready, we can begin with item number 1 on the agenda.
Call of the meeting,
Accepted and placed on file.
officers' return of notice,
Accepted and placed on file.
communication from the mayor in accordance with Mass General Law and the ordinances of the city, recommending that the city council adopt the fiscal year 2021 budget for the city and the amounts in form as recommended in the budget order. He recommends total appropriations in the amount of $450,338,970. But the situation remains dire. The budget represents a reduction of $373 from last year, reflecting uncertain times and precarious finances resulting from the.
Can everybody hear me? I know, I don't know if it's my internet or Robin's, but can everybody hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Accepted and placed on file.
A communication from.
Yes, Robin, before we begin, I know that Counselor Lally has joined us. If you want to make note of that, and
Sorry about the delay.
I think that's it. So Counselor Lally has joined us since we began. Item
Okay, thank you.
number 4.
Communication from the CFO relative to the same.
Accepted and placed on file.
Budget for fiscal year 2021.
That is referred to finance.
Communication from the superintendent of schools requesting that the city council return to the general fund $2 million that he is anticipating will be a surplus in the fiscal year 20 non-net school spending line item. At the school committee meeting of May 19th, 2020, the school committee voted to return $2 million to the city. They do not intend to fully pay for services not rendered by the transportation vendors, and they discussed the estimated surplus of the net school spending appropriation that should be returned to the city prior to year end.
That is accepted and placed on file. Council Lally, you have your hand up?
No, sorry. That was my mistake. This wasn't the motion, it was the communication.
Right.
Sorry.
Well, this is accepted and placed on file, yes.
That was my error.
Thank you.
Commun-
Robin, yep,
Okay, communication from the mayor recommending the same.
accepted and placed on file,
Communication from the CFO relative to the same.
accepted and placed on file,
Ordered transfer of $2 million from non-net school spending to stabilization fund.
Council Lally,
Madam President, I would like to move to take this under suspension of the rules and act on this tonight.
Second.
a motion's been made to take this under suspension of the rules and act on it this evening. It has been properly seconded. If there are any objections, just please raise your hands. Okay, is that a question or you're just objecting for us, Councilor Cardoso?
I have a question on it, so I'm not prepared to.
Right, and that's
vote on
why
it.
we asked Troy to be here this evening. So if you would like to, the motion was just to take it under suspension of the rules and discuss it this evening. So, Troy, go ahead with your question, then we can move forward.
Okay, Troy, so I am wondering with the cuts to the.
Madam
schools-
Chairman, point of parliamentary procedure.
Yes,
We need to vote on it first to take it under this evening and then
correct.
have
Okay,
questions.
perfect. Well, Councilor Cardoso objected to taking it under, so you just had questions, Councilor Cardoso. You weren't objecting to taking it under suspension of the rules, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so there's no objections to act on this evening and take it under suspension of the rules. Robin, please read the roll to take this under suspension of the rules.
Azak,
Yes,
Cardozo,
Yes.
Cruz,
Yes.
Inieri,
Yes.
Farwell,
Yes.
Lally,
Yes.
Mendez,
yes,
Monahan,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
9 in the affirmative.
okay, thank you. And so we will open the discussion. Councilor Cardoso, you had a question for Troy?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. Troy, I wanted to know, and I'm sorry, I meant to reach out to you to discuss this. Why is this money coming back to the city instead of going back into the schools with the deficits that they have there with, with the layoffs and everything?
So the short answer, Counselor, is it is. This is money that the schools have not used for this current fiscal year in the school transportation line. And in our discussions with them about ways to mitigate the loss of state aid, we all agreed that we could take this money from this year's budget. Tonight's request is asking you to put it in the stabilization fund. And next week, as part of your budget deliberations for next year, you'll see a transfer of $3.5 million back from the stabilization fund to balance next year's budget. So that $3.5 million includes this $2 million and the $1.5 million you transferred into stabilization from snow and ice. So this money is actually helping to mitigate the impacts of the potential loss of school aid. So without this $2 million, the impact on the schools would have been much more significant.
Okay, thank you.
Any other
Sure.
questions, counselors or
Yes,
Counselor Cruz?
thank you. Thank you, Troy. So just for the public to understand, this is non-net school spending, so you can't just use it for, we're really moving money for next week, correct?
Yes, correct.
Now, is there any chance, is the way the school contract reads on the, with the buses, the way I read what they sent over is they don't intend to fully pay for services not rendered. There's no chance that the bus company is going to claim that we owe them all of that money, is there?
So both Aldo Petronio, the school CFO, and the superintendent have left a fairly significant amount of money in that line because it's likely that they will be paying something to the bus companies. But this is an amount that they were comfortable transferring because they certainly won't be obligated to pay all of it because the buses haven't been running. So both Mike Thomas and Aldo Petronio were comfortable with this amount and that it protected the school department and left them enough to make some partial payments if necessary to the bus companies.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chairman, Madam
Okay.
President.
Counselors, any other questions? I'll entertain a
Motion,
motion.
motion to recommend favorably. I'm sorry, to approve.
Second,
A motion's been made and properly second to approve this order. Roll call vote, Madam Clerk?
Azak,
Yes.
Cardozo,
Yes,
Cruz,
Yes.
Ranieri,
yes.
Farwell,
Yes.
Lally, Mendez,
Yes.
Monahan,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Lally,
I don't know what happened. It looks like we've lost, I don't know if he lost internet or what happened, but that's fine.
8 in the affirmative.
The order
Madam
passes.
President, I make a motion for reconsideration in the hopes it does not prevail.
Second,
A motion's been made for reconsideration, hopes it does not prevail. All those in favor of reconsideration, raise your hand. All those opposed? Reconsideration fails. The order is moves favorably. It passes, sorry, passes it passes this evening. Thank you. So it's we're all set. Thank you, Mr. CFO, for being on with us. We appreciate it. Thank you very much.
My
Counselors,
pleasure. We'll see you next week.
we'll see you next week. Yes, thank you. So we will have our regularly scheduled city council meeting on Monday, June 22nd, 7 p.m. It will be via Zoom. And so I will see everybody there. With no further business before us this evening, this meeting is adjourned.